Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Mehedi Hasan, faculty member of North-South University, welcoming you to the webinar on tips and tricks for IELTS. This webinar is presented by the Department of English and Modern Languages of North-South University and powered by the Business Standard. This webinar is especially for those who want to study abroad and take IELTS in the future. As the keynote speakers of the webinar, today we have Professor Dr. Deena Forkan.
Hello.
Hello, Miss.
Hello.
And then we have Miss Asefa Zaman. Hello, Miss.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
And then we have Miss Munira Nasreen Khan. Hello, Miss.
Hello, assalamu alaikum and good evening.
We have the faculty members of the Department of English and Modern Languages of North-South University, and they have more than 2 decades of experience in IELTS and EFL or ESL. JagoNews24.com is the online media partner, and the student body of DEML is the facilitator of today's webinar. So let's start our today's webinar. At first, and moving on to our very own Deena Miss. Miss, how are you? And how do you feel now?
I'm happy that I can be of help to you, because this is something that all our young students and candidates who are planning to take IELTS are always very nervous about. Okay, so I have been an IELTS examiner for a long time. So any question, any queries, anything, I think I can help out all the candidates with their queries and help them out to do better in the exam. Okay.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you. Then we have Miss Asefa Zaman. Miss, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mehdi. And you?
Yeah, Miss, I'm fine. And getting all of you today, I'm feeling actually more than fine.
Okay, as Deena Madam said, I'm also connected with this IELTS thing, and I hope I'll be also able to help the students with their queries.
Thank you, Miss. Then we have Miss Munira Nasreen Khan. Miss, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yes, Miss, I'm fine as well. Miss, anything to say for our today's audience, live audience?
Yes, I hope that what we discussed today will be very helpful for all the students, and not just students, other people who want to go abroad and have to sit for the IELTS. I hope we'll be able to give you the tricks of the trade, if you must say so. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Okay, now I'm requesting today's live audience. Are we audible? Can you please write in the comment section? Can you please hear us? Please write in the comment section. Can you please hear us? The live audience, are we audible? Sorry, I should have asked you before. I don't know whether everyone can hear us or not. Can we just confirm in the comment box? Like, can you hear us? Okay. Thank you very much. Lots of comments, and lots of people are watching our today's live webinar on tips and tricks for IELTS. Okay, so today we have 3 IELTS experts, and also Deena Miss, the Chief IELTS Examiner Trainer. So I think our today's session will be very useful, and the students and everyone today can learn a lot from these 3 IELTS experts. Okay, so before we started the webinar, I actually collected a list of questions from the student body of the department. So my first question that I'm going to ask to Deena Miss, but before that, I'm requesting the audience, can you please write in the comment box what you want to know about the IELTS? All of you know that IELTS has 4 sections: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Which one do you think is impossible? Which one do you think is really difficult? And which one is very easy? You should write it down in the comment box. And then if you have any question in mind, if you want to know something from these 3 IELTS experts, and they have more than 20 years of experience in IELTS, so they will be the best people to help you out. So I'm requesting all of you to give us your questions in the comment box, and I will show your comments on the screen, and they will help you out with those questions. Okay. So my first question to Deena Miss. Miss, can you tell us in short the syllabus of IELTS?
Okay. We have, as you said before, there are 4 sections that candidates have to answer: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Okay. And the syllabus is, I mean, there is no fixed syllabus as it is. The reading passages are taken from randomly from any source. Okay. Usually related to traveling, or any kind of information about our society, people, thoughts about people. So the reading passages are taken from various different sources. There's not one source that the passages will be taken from here. So, reading passage, there are 3 sections in the reading passage. Okay, 3 passages are given, and each one is slightly more difficult than the previous one. And you have 48 questions to answer in all 3 passages. Okay, so this is the reading section, and then comes the listening section. Listening is again, the listening passages are taken from different sources, and it's not that I know that most of our candidates are worried about the other people who are talking in the listening using British accent or American accent or Bangladeshi accent. So candidates are a little worried about it. It is not anything fixed. Okay, we have in the listening sections, we have people from Australia, people from Britain, even people from European countries, and they are interacting. Most of them are students. They're interacting. They are talking about their coursework. They are talking about their social life. They are talking about tourism or holidays and so on. So, and the accent is, I mean, everybody doesn't have the same accent. They can be different accent. So this is the listening module, and then comes the after the listening module, we have the writing module. Writing module, there are 2 sections again, 2 tasks. You have to finish 2 tasks. One is you have to analyze for the academic module. You have to analyze a graph, write an analytical description of a graph or a chart or a table, or maybe a map or something like that. And then the second task is a essay. Mostly it is an argumentative essay. Sometimes it may be descriptive, or sometimes, but most of the time it is an argumentative essay. All right. So this is the writing module. So we have listening, reading, writing, and the other one is speaking. The last module is the speaking module, where the 3 modules, listening, reading, and writing, you have to do it on a single day. On a single day, you have to finish that. And then the center, from wherever you are taking the exam, will give you a date for the speaking. And then you'll have to go appear at the center and take the speaking module. The speaking module is around 14 minutes that you have to speak. And there are several questions that the examiners ask. And these questions are all modular and candidates have to understand what the question is actually focusing on and answer. But as I said, there is no one single definite answer. Okay, if you can give a logical answer to any of those questions, it will be accepted. And candidates also are scared about, does accent matter, madam? When we are speaking, does accent matter? Now, this is a critical question. If your accent is so ki bolbo, if your accent is very heavily laced with, say, Bangladeshi accent, any other Indian accent and all, and people cannot understand you, in that case it will matter. But usually accent, I don't think anybody has such bad accent that people don't understand, and examiners have been exposed to a lot of different kinds of accents and candidates, so they can manage, so you don't have to worry about accents, but you have to at least remember the standard version and standard structure and so on. Okay, so this is the syllabus, more or less the syllabus. It's not very fixed or anything. Okay, so I think that should give you an idea about the syllabus for the IELTS.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
do you have any other question on this?
Miss, I'll be coming back to you. Definitely, the audience has a lot of questions to ask you. Okay,
Sure.
I'm going back to Saramis. Saramis, I have
Yes.
a specific question for you, which is for IELTS writing. Does handwriting really matter in IELTS?
In case of writing, one should be able to read when the examiner is reading your script. Of course, if it is understood by the examiner, not a problem. But if an examiner doesn't understand what is written, like sometimes the handwriting is really bad, so that poses a kind of a problem for the examiner to read, and um, but not that much, I would say, not that much. Right,
Oh,
Dinamis?
Yes, handwriting matters in the sense that don't make it. Sometimes candidates are so nervous, they scroll
Illegible.
and you can't make out what they have written. In that case, what we do is examiners cannot read. And then what happened? We give you the benefit of the doubt. We give it to a second examiner so that the second, to see if that second examiner can read. If the second examiner cannot read, then you'll probably have to take the exam again. Do you understand? So handwriting does matter to some extent.
To some extent, yes.
thank you, Miss. Thank you. Now I'm going back to Munira Miss. Munira Miss, I have a very specific question for IELTS speaking. My question is, what kind of questions are usually asked in IELTS speaking? We know there are a few stages. So, what kind of questions are usually asked in IELTS speaking? Can you please spill the beans?
the, that's a good thing that you said spill the beans, because these are the kind of things that we look for. We look for um, phrases that are less commonly used. So this shows you know your English. All right, let's get back to what you asked. You asked what kind of questions are asked in the speaking test. Well, there are actually 3 parts in the speaking test, and each part has a specific time and specific questions. So it's not that everything is the same. At the beginning, the first section is the introduction. Okay, here the ID is checked, a couple of introductory questions are asked. This is done so that the ice is broken, so that the candidate feels a bit comfortable and less stressed. These are questions that he or she can easily answer. These are about the candidate themselves. And then we have questions on 2 different topics related to our lives. So it's nothing completely, it won't come out of the blue. They are things that we have experienced, things that we have seen, things that go on in our everyday lives from childhood right up to adulthood. So these are topics that are related to our lives. I'll give you an example. The questions could be about sports. So if they ask you, while do you do any types of sports? And then usually the boys, the male candidates, they actually can answer this. But when it comes to the girls, they say, I don't know. And then when we say why, we said, I don't like sports, full stop. But you've got to extend it a little bit. You've got to tell us why. That is why we ask the question, why or why not? You cannot just stop and say, yes, no, I don't, I do. we will ask them, I mean, the examiner will ask the candidate why or why not. Then you have to explain it a little bit. Okay, so there will be two sets of questions like this. It could also be like for festivals. What is the most enjoyable festival in your culture? Now, if you say Pohela Boishak, that is something that we cannot take as an answer because that is Bangla. It is not in the English vocabulary. So you have to give a clear reference to what Pohela Boishak is. You have to say, one of the most enjoyable festivals in the Bengali culture is the first day of the Bengali calendar, which is also known as Pohela Boishak. So what have you done here? You have told us what Pohela Boishak is instead of just using the Bangla phrase. So you have to make sure you refer clearly to what it is. Because here we are seeing if you can communicate and if the person on the other side, on the receiving end, can actually understand what you're saying. So you've got to be a bit careful there. So this part takes 4 to 5 minutes. So this is the first part that we have talked about. Then we have the second part. The second part is called the long turn. Here, the candidate will be asked to speak about a topic for 2 minutes. So there is a long turn. You will be speaking for 2 whole minutes. Before that, you will be given 1 whole minute, 60 seconds to prepare yourself, to write down notes. Now, you might say, what type of question will it be? Well, it will be something specific. Okay, something specific. I'll give you an example. It could be, the task could be, talk about someone you know who has recently been cured of COVID-19. So what is the question? Listen very carefully, look very carefully. It says, talk about a person you know. So someone that you know, not a general question. Because the moment candidates hear a certain phrase, a certain word, they start speaking at 100 miles per hour. The thing is, the word here is COVID-19 and someone you know. But the moment they hear COVID-19, they might start saying COVID-19 is a horrible virus. It has covered the whole world, and now we are in a pandemic. We cannot leave the houses. All the hospitals are filled up. Have you done any specific given any specific information here? No. What you have done, you have given general information. This is not the thing that we want here. So you have to give specific information. With the task, there will be 3 questions. For instance, who is this person? How did he or she get infected and what happened? What advice has this person given you? So look at this. Who is this person? How do you know him or her? So it's everything to do with you. How do you know him? This person could be a neighbor. This person could be a relative of yours. This person could be a sibling. So you mention that. And then how this person got infected. I mean, you have to answer all the questions. It doesn't matter what order you answer them in, as long as you answer them. So don't worry that you have not gone by the sequence. As long as you've answered them, that's fine. But you must remember that this is specific. We are looking for specific answers. This will go on for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, the examiner will stop you, or if you have, you might have a few more seconds left, that's fine. And then you'll be asked a rounding up question. This is done so that, it's like a conclusion. When you write a paragraph, there's a concluding sentence. When you write an essay, there's a concluding paragraph. This is like a conclusion to that particular part. So in the round of question, we will just ask a question. So do you like other festivals also? The answer will be, yes, I do. That's it. You do not have to extend. We are not looking for an extension here. Okay, so all you do is keep it short. You do not elaborate here. So this is the second part. Now is the third part. Now, the third part is a conversation, and it is a continuation from the topic that you have been talking about in part 2. Here we discuss and converse for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, and this time the conversation is not specific. This time it is general. See, part 2 was specific, but part 3 is completely general. Okay, here you do not refer to yourself like you did in part 2. In this part, you'd be asked to express your understanding on the topic and discuss further on the matter by extending your answers clearly. So what are you doing? You will be extending your answers. Okay, so the whole test is for 11 to 14 minutes. All right, so the first part was 4 to 5 minutes, the second part was 3 to 4 minutes, and the third part is 4 to 5 minutes. So a total of 11 to 15 minutes. These are the 3 parts of the speaking test. And
Thank you. Thank
are
you.
asked there.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss. We'll come back to you again. Before that, I want to take a question from one of the audience, Rafid Islam. Miss, Sarah Miss, this question is for you. I have a question from my honorable faculty members that I'm a cleft lip and polite patient by born. Now I'm okay, alhamdulillah, but sometimes it creates hypernasality when I speak. So can I get any consideration in the IELTS speaking test for this reason? Sarah Miss.
All right. Now, if I have to answer this question, I would say that please provide the center with your medical reports. With all the medical reports, go there, tell them, explain to them what your problems are. Then they will inform the examiner what to do. They will inform the examiner, and your physical disability will not be taken into account. But it has to come through the authorities. Like if you're sitting for IELTS from IDP, the authorities over there should inform the examiner. If you're taking it from BC, the authorities from there should inform the examiner about the problems that you have, and you have to have proof of your problem. You have to present your medical reports to the center so that they also understand that this is something real and not made up.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you very much.
I think that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Miss. Deena, Miss, this question is for you. This came from Ahnaf Ismat Tasin. So he wanted to know that will the second or third time candidate be evaluated based on her previous IELTS performance? Deena, Miss.
No. I mean, each time you take, it's considered to be unique. And so whatever your performance is in the first exam, you will be assessed on that. The second time you take it, you'll be assessed on that. Third time, you can take it on that. And each time you take an IELTS exam, the validity of the score remains for 2 years. You can use that for 2 years. Okay, but if your scores are not satisfactory enough for you, you can take it again. Of course, you can take it as many times as you can. So there is no limitation as to how many times you can take the IELTS. So it depends on whether are you satisfied with the scores that you're getting, and each time you take it is considered separate. Okay,
Thank
did I
you.
answer your question?
Yes, Miss. I think yes. So Samia, you can reply in the comment box whether you got your answer or not. Okay, fine. In the meantime, I want to take another question from Samia, and I want to ask Sarah Miss back again the question. What should be avoided in the IELTS speaking test? A very tricky question.
All right. So first of all, do not give answers in monosyllables. Never say yes or no. This is you can use yes or no, but it should be accompanied with an extended answer. You cannot just use yes or no, because if you do that, you are not actually you're not letting the examiner understand your proficiency level. The examiners are neither fairies nor witches who can go inside you and check your proficiency level. So you have to, show your language so that they can assess correctly. They can correctly assess your proficiency level, and you can only do that when you speak a little extra, a little more. So avoid giving one word answers. And also, I think there are certain words which are very strong words. I think those should be avoided. And there are positive ways of saying negative things. If you say, I hate it, it sounds bad. When you say, I don't like it much, that softens the blow. So it is better, I think, to use positive words rather than negative words. And there are certain words like obviously, which has an undertone of audacity. That that might not sound very good when you are sitting for a test in front of an examiner, and just when you say obviously, it sounds kind of audacious. So it is better to avoid these kind of words. And you can also avoid saying, I told you before. These are certain sentences which I don't think examiners like much. I told you before. Even if you said something before, say it again. There's nothing wrong. I mean, you can say it again. And as I said, avoid giving one word answers. Plus, if you have a target of getting a high band, avoid mumbling too much. If your speech is, if you hesitate too many times, if it's full of hesitation, then it might not be considered for a high band. So if your target is getting a high band, you should be very fluent, very lucid, and very eloquent. So these are the things I would say.
Okay, thank you, Miss. And then now,
If I may add something to this,
please.
we are testing the candidates for language, your proficiency in using language. And when you give too short answers like yes, no, obviously, actually, these are the things that we cannot get enough language to give you a good grade, give you an assessment on that. So please remember that you need to give us more language in order to evaluate you, and also
To be
and
properly
you need-
assessed.
Yes, exactly. So you have to remember that. And also, do not, when the examiner, the time, you don't have to worry about the time. It's the examiner who manages the time. Okay. So when you say too much, the examiner may give you a gesture or say something and may stop you from talking. So when the examiner does so, please stop talking. Do not continue. Okay. When the examiner says, okay, thank you very much, then stop talking. Okay, it will not be a penalty. Don't be afraid that I haven't finished what I wanted to say, I have something more to say. Don't be afraid of that. That will not be a penalty. Okay.
Since it's a
All
time
right.
test, it's a timed test.
Okay, what if Miss somebody keeps talking, even if you show us some sort of gesture to the candidate, like very stupid or something like that? I mean, what happens actually?
We
To
have
that
certain
point.
ways. We say, okay, thank you very much. Now, can we move on to the next question? Okay, examiners often do these things, say these things, and
They know their ways and
move
means
on.
of doing it.
They move on to other questions and so on. So the
Okay.
candidates often, the candidates often fear that I haven't finished the answer. Maybe I will get less marks. No, you will not. Okay, you will not. So, so don't be afraid of that.
Okay, thank you, Miss. So I think today's session is becoming very, very useful. So the audience can learn a lot of useful techniques in IELTS. So can you please drop more questions in the comment box if you have, so that our today's IELTS experts can answer those questions. Okay, so now I'm moving back to MNK Miss, Munira Miss. And there is a question for Munira Miss from Saudi Afrin Oishi. So she wants to know what kind of questions are asked in the speaking part. Miss,
Which part?
can you tell her? Yeah, can you tell her like what kind of question might be asked in future? Can you leak the question? I'm
Which
kidding.
which part?
Yeah.
We
Speak-
so she wants to know what kind of questions are asked for in IELTS. I just told you,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
When I told you
Give the
about the
details.
3 parts, I explained everything. So if you heard that, then everything would be clear. There are 3
Okay,
types,
Miss.
3 parts. Each part has been, I have clearly explained each part. So I hope you understand now.
What if like I ask you what kind of cue card topics she might expect? very soon.
um, as I said, these could be things that have happened in our lives. We have experienced. For instance, have you talk about the time when you were lost as a child?
Can I? Can
It could
I?
be something
Please,
like that.
please,
Yes, of
please.
course. Go ahead.
Okay. So generally, you get topics based on people, on a person. Sorry, person, object, situation, and
Experience.
yeah, experience.
Experience, things
Miss,
that
you're
we have
looking at the
Usually
question.
these
experienced in
are
our life.
the, I mean, it can be anyone. Like when I say person, it can be your favorite celebrity, or it can be your favorite person in your family. So it's about person. It can be about an object. You can describe the favorite gift, or it can describe your most prized possession, or if it's about a situation, like about your experience, a situation like if you ever win a lottery of this many takas or dollars, what will you do with it? Or maybe an experience that you faced in your life. So person, place, object, situation, and
Can
experience.
I just add
Please, please.
that the fun thing is you will be asked about a person, place, object, or an experience, but you can choose what you're going to talk about, that particular object, which particular object you're going to talk about, which incident you're going to talk about, which person you're going to talk about.
You
So
cannot
all
change
you
the
have to do
topic,
is
but you can
think.
choose.
Yes, you cannot change the topic, but the what shall I say? The controlling idea is there. You're going to choose the controlling idea. If we go
The
back,
controlling idea.
yes.
That was really interesting. Okay, thank you, Miss. Now the next
Okay.
question is for Tina, Miss. The question is pretty big. Sorry. So Mohammad
Okay.
Reza, he asked you, Miss, can students follow the structures of writing an argumentative essay, which is being taught in our English 105? I think this is an NSU student. So because English
Yeah.
105
Okay.
is in NSU, yeah, and for the IELTS writing task, two argumentative essays. So is there any similarity, or can he follow the same structure that he learned in English 105? And should someone discuss 2 points in favor and 1 point against, or just explain 2 points in two body paragraphs? So, yeah, what do you think,
Okay.
Miss?
The 105, the argumentative essay that is taught in 105 is not anything different. It is more or less similar. We teach argumentative essay. Uh, Now, when we are writing argumentative essay, what we need to focus on is that the question, okay? When the question is asking you, do you agree or disagree? Okay? So in that case, you can choose that I agree. And these are the reasons I agree. Two reasons or three reasons, okay? Um, and if the question asks you, discuss both the options and say which one do you support. If the question is like that, then you have to talk about points in favor and points against. It doesn't matter whether you're saying 2 points or 3 points, but I will say more that it shouldn't be just 1 point. It should be more than that. Okay. And each point, each argument should be discussed in a separate paragraph. In a separate paragraph. And then what many candidates forget to do is that they forget to take a stance. They have to, every candidate in an argumentative essay, every candidate has to take a position, has to take a stance. You cannot be neutral. Okay, you cannot say this is also right and this is also right. Okay, yes, there may be arguments both in favor and against, but you as a writer must focus on your personal opinion. So you have to take a stand that whether you agree or disagree, and then you can also talk about, while you are talking about the refuting the points that people agree on, then you can talk about, okay, there are people who believe in this point and this point and all. So you can talk about them to undermine those arguments and emphasize on your arguments so that you establish your stance, your position more. Re-emphasize your position in the concluding paragraph. Make sure you have a conclusion. Okay, another thing that I would like to add here, since I'm in the structure, talking about the structure, is that when you are writing the introduction of your argumentative essay, please do not start with, I strongly agree with the statement. This is a very, very poor level of writing. First of all, strongly agree with the statement. Where is the statement? You have to state the statement. And then, strongly agree is such a word which has been used by so many people again and again and again that it is not a very sophisticated way of expression. Okay, so first of all, whatever the topic is, give 2 or 3 sentences as a background to create a context, and then say whether you agree with it or disagree with it. But it'll be much more, the higher level candidates usually don't use strongly agree or strongly disagree. These are very common words. These are very common words. You can say the same thing in a different way, in a more sophisticated way. For example, like smoking. If smoking should be banned from every educational institute, I strongly agree that smoking should be banned. Don't say it like that. High level candidates, if you want a good higher grade, you should say that smoking is harmful for health. However, at this point, banning smoking completely from every educational institute may not be a logical step to take. We have to educate the people first about the laws, about the harmful effects of smoking, and then take measures. And the measures should be taken logically, not hastily, but logically. You see, I could easily give you my idea about my position, that I'm not in favor of banning smoking right at this point. But you don't have to say agree, disagree using this vocabulary, same old vocabulary again. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you. DF Miss, I want to ask you this question as well. I guess that's very much connected to what you just said. This question came from Nadar Khan. So he wants to know that, do we need to extend our answer in the first part? I think first part means section 1 in IELTS, maybe, in
Section
writing,
1 in
Writing or
IELTS.
speaking?
Huh?
or maybe
What
out,
is
yeah.
in
Yeah.
First
first
part, you're
part?
talking
Is it
about
about
writing or
writing or speaking?
Yeah, Nader, can you please just mention which section or which
Module? Which
section of
module?
IELTS? Yeah. Which module are you talking about, Nader? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nader. And now I want to go to Sarah Miss. Sarah Miss, I have a question from Yasmin Akhtar. So she wants to know what are the IELTS practice materials? What she can
Which
practice at
module?
home?
For which module? For all the modules?
Maybe for all those four
yeah, you can
modules.
talk about all the modules.
Yeah.
All right. So starting with listening, I would say that there are a number of books available everywhere with CDs and I think with CDs mostly nowadays. You can buy those and practice at home. You have online sources. There are too many resources online nowadays that you have access to. So that's one way of that you getting practice materials, or you can use the hard copies. You can get admitted in British Council or elsewhere where they teach authentic courses of IELTS preparation, not just the ones that are there. A few, I don't want to mention the names, but there are a lot of IELTS centers who give guarantee that you will get this score and that score, which I think is not true. And what score you get is, it depends on your performance of that particular day. Maybe you're a very good student, maybe you're an eloquent speaker, but if on that particular day your performance is not good, then nobody is going to see how you did otherwise and on other days. It is your performance on that particular day, and the practice materials are everywhere nowadays, especially nowadays. Internet is, I would say, use the word khazana for these things. You have access to internet, and you have access to books and materials, and more if you want to be guided, then you can go to authentic centers where they teach IELTS IELTS courses. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss. Now I'm coming back to Munira, Miss. I picked up one question for you. This is from Tahsin Isha. So she wants to know that how can she improve her speaking skill for IELTS? Any tips
Practice.
and tricks?
Um, it's practice. Obviously, it's practice. And you've got to understand that in certain parts you are asked to extend, in certain parts you are not asked to extend. So understand what the question is, based on that you answer. And of course, you will have to be able to connect your ideas. You have to connect your ideas. You have to be able to use transitional phrases, discourse markers when necessary. Now, you might say, what are these things? Well, um, you have to be fluent. Of course, I mean, we try to see if you are fluent and coherent. So the first thing you have to do is be coherent in what you say. Coherent means to be logical and to be systematic in your words and in with your sentences. That means everything that you are saying has to be in a certain logical sequence. You cannot speak haphazardly. If you do, that means the listener will not actually be able to understand you. You also have to speak in a certain rate, at a certain speed. You cannot speak very, very fast, and you cannot speak very, very slowly. You have to have a rhythm in your voice. You have to have intonation, because the rhythm and the intonation and the necessary pauses help a person to understand what you are trying to say. It helps in expressing the meaning. So these are the
Practice
things
with
that you have to
someone.
look for,
Practice with
that you have
someone.
to think about and remember and practice. So another thing is, we have to use discourse markers. Now, what are discourse markers? They are certain words and phrases that we use to organize our conversation in various parts, in various segments. We can use them at the beginning when we start a sentence. We can use them in between two sentences. We can use them in a sentence. I'll give you a couple of examples. For instance, if I say, there are four people here, okay, no, three people. So the first person is Kamal, and he says, so I've decided to sit for my IELTS and apply to universities abroad. So to this, another person, his friend, Maruf, says, that sounds like a good idea. And then Ataur, another friend, says, well, you need to study hard. And Maruf says, right. And Kamal now says, anyway, before all that work, I was wondering if we could go and see a movie. So here we can see the use of four discourse markers. All right. The first one is so. When Kamal says, so I've decided to sit for my IELTS. So marks the beginning, right? It marks the beginning of a new part of a conversation. Now, when Ataur says, well, you need to study hard, well marks a change in the focus. So he decided to study, but now Ataur is saying by well that, look, you've got to study hard. And then Maruf says, right. That means he is giving a response and he agrees with what Maruf is saying. But then Kamal says, anyway, before all that work, I was wondering if we could go and see a movie. So this anyway means that he is shifting the topic. So each and every discourse marker that is used, the transitional phrase that is used, each has a specific meaning. You cannot use any and every discourse marker anywhere. You've got to understand what it represents so that you can put it at the right place, it in the right place in the sentence in order to give your meaning, or give your sentence complete meaning. So these are the things that you have to practice. You've got to practice to understand them and practice using them in your sentences. And I would also like to mention, which goes into the third part of the speaking test, where we will be asking general questions, where the examiners ask general questions. You will be asked to explain a certain thing. You'll be asked to compare two things, contrast two things. Now, many of us make a mistake in compare and contrast. Compare means discussing the similarities, and contrast means discussing the differences. You will be asked to give suggestions on a certain topic. You will be asked to give predictions of what might happen if something occurs, like what might happen 2 years later after COVID. What do you think the situation will be? You might be asked to talk about the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and cons of a certain matter. You will be asked if you disagree with a certain issue or you disagree with a certain issue. So you are relating, you are contrasting, linking all the ideas. And in each case, you are giving your opinion through your words. And that is what we are looking for. If you are able to give opinion, if you are able to do all the things that I just mentioned now.
Okay, and if I may add one thing, that try to find someone who's better than you and practice with that person, because you can read all the rules and regulations and everything, but unless and until you practice, unless and until you speak with someone, you will never come out of your inhibition. So it is very important that you start speaking with someone, and speak with someone who's better than you, and never feel uh, never feel sorry for yourself that I don't know this. That is why you're practicing with someone who knows better than you. So try to practice with someone. Speak out. If you don't speak, no matter how many rules and regulations you know, it won't be effective unless you put them in
Yeah.
use. So
None
you
of
have to
them.
do that as well. You have to
if
know
I
how to
add
do it, and you have
if
to
I
do
add a
it.
very childish advice here,
Yeah. Yes, please, please.
okay, very
Talk to your
simple
mirror.
and childish advice, which I remember when I was a young student in school. My mom used to enforce me, "Jore jore paro, jore jore paro." So this
Yeah.
is something that helped a lot. When you are reading, I know it is childish and some people do not want to
No, miss, we also
read
did
aloud,
that.
but reading
I also
aloud
did it.
helps you
Read
to
aloud.
pronounce properly, helps you the intonation that you need when you are speaking, and also it gives you the speed, the skills that you need in order to. So reading aloud is an excellent way, though it is sounds stupid and childish,
No,
but
it
it is an
doesn't, ma'am.
excellent. It
It
is
is
an
excellent,
excellent way.
and also I would say speak in front of the mirror. See yourself.
Yeah.
Yes,
See if you have
exactly.
any kind of
Lip reading.
mannerisms or not.
Yes,
Some
exactly.
people, they just, their eyeballs come out. They sometimes they start spitting, or sorry to say this, but some people have a lot of other mannerisms. So when you practice in front of the mirror, you can also see your facial expressions, how you are saying it, how you're moving, how what about your gestures. I mean, I think it also helps when you speak in front of the mirror. You feel that the other person is listening to you. It is actually your reflection, but you feel as if there is somebody you are talking to. You can ask yourself questions, give yourself an answer, and record it and play it back. Listen to your own recording, and then try to figure out where you made a mistake and rectify that.
Can I add another thing?
Miss, please,
Yes,
please.
right.
Okay, it's
Sure.
about pronunciation. We sometimes pronounce things incorrectly. For instance, the long vowels and the short vowels. This is something, if we do not pronounce it correctly, the wrong meaning will be given. I'll give you a little example, which I thought of today. And that is if I say, I came to America by sheep. So I don't think you'll be able to go to America by sheep, because what is Bangla of sheep? It's ভেড়া।
Bheda.
ভেড়াও ডুবে যাবে, তুমিও ডুবে যাবে মহাসাগর পার হতে গিয়ে। So, but what did you actually go by? You used a ship. See the difference?
Yeah,
Ship
short vowel
and
sounds and long
sheep.
vowel sounds.
And if
Miss,
you say,
I
I
want
saw
to.
5 ships grazing
Yeah.
in the field, তোমরা কি জাহাজ দেখেছো মাঠের মধ্যে ঘাস খাচ্ছে? নিশ্চয়ই না। Right. তাহলে তোমাদেরকে চিন্তা করতে হবে। You've got to think about the long vowels and the short vowels, because based on that, meaning is expressed. So we've got to learn that. We've got to understand, because someone might say, Mr. Karim is living for Chittagong today. Is he only living for Chittagong আজকের জন্য, বাঁচছে শুধু চিটাগং এর জন্য? Or is he leaving for Chittagong? See, living and leaving, two
Yes.
different pronunciations and
Can
two
I add
different
one
meanings.
example?
Yes.
Can I add one
think our
example
Miss
here?
is trying to say something very interesting and humorous. Maybe
Yes.
Miss, go ahead.
I think once I heard somebody say Bangladesh, sorry, Cox's Bazar has the longest bitch in the world, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, it's not a bitch, it's beach, and you understand how it sounds when he says the longest bitch in the world. So, this
I don't want to
these long
imagine
vowel
Miss.
sounds and short vowel sounds make a world of difference. Actually, Munira is absolutely correct.
Miss, I got a question from Shahid Titli. The question is for Dina Miss. Does our accent really matter for our speaking? Because Miss, these days what's happening, there are some accent trainers in Bangladesh who are trying to teach a British accent, American accent. I don't know how much these techniques are really effective when someone is trying to speak fluently. So, Miss, would you like to address this question?
Accent, I would say, there was a time in IELTS exam when accent and pronunciation were taken very seriously. But nowadays, because of the world English, development of world English, the emphasis on accent has reduced a little bit. So you don't have to worry about accent. You don't have to think, okay, I'll have to produce British accent or American accent or this and that. You don't have to be too much worried about that. If you are clear and we can understand what you are saying, and I mean, then if it is not a very bad accent, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Okay, so don't be too much worried about accents. Just make
Oh,
sure that you can pronounce the word carefully, correctly, and just give your answer.
Unless, of course, if you say each watch, these sort of things might affect the score. Each
Sarmis,
watch show.
do you remember that particular example from one part of the country to another part of the country,
Yes, I
and
do.
that
Please
country
don't
came
say
from
it.
one
From one part of the country to another part of the country. So the
yeah.
whole country stinks.
So that would be really problematic for the examiners having to pick up actually what the candidate is trying to say. Okay, Saramis, I have a question for you. The
Yeah.
question came from Mohaminul Islam. So
Yes.
he asked you to give him or them some quick hacks that can really help someone to get impressed by the examiners. Wow. Is there any? So he wants to
Gets
impress the
impressed by
examiners.
the examiners or impress the examiners? He
Maybe impress the
does he want
examiners.
to get impressed, or does he want to impress the examiners?
Maybe he wants to impress. Miss, what if he wants to impress you in IELTS speaking
If
test?
he
How
wants
could
to impress the examiner, he has to speak lucidly in a lucid manner. He has to speak fluently with good pronunciation, with logical sequencing, with good vocabulary. Logical sequencing with good vocab and good pronunciation. Finally, fluency. Yeah. The examiners
Yeah.
are there to help you. They are facilitators. They are there to bring out the best from you. So please
Yeah,
do
give
give
good
your best.
vocabulary, good pronunciation, good attitude. You have to have a good attitude, not a very rude or I
Yes,
mean
defiant,
obnoxious
not
attitude.
defiant. Yeah.
And I would also like to mention something slightly different but related to it. I have seen often candidate coming to take the speaking test wearing very dirty t-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, the t-shirt that he has been sleeping
Sleeping.
last night. Okay, when you this is a formal exam, speaking test is a formal exam. You come a little attired well, which shows that you are sincere, you are serious about this. Don't come in crumpled t-shirts and with bad obscene messages written on your t-shirt and so on. Okay, so this kind of thing shows a very negative attitude towards the examiners. Okay, so that will never impress an examiner. Don't try to show off that, okay, you are wearing a t-shirt with a uncommon message and this and that. Don't try to do that. Be polite, be nice and clean,
Courteous.
and yeah,
Be
so
courteous.
that this is what is going to impress the examiner, not the attitude. So your attitude should be polite. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss. I think already some of the students are impressed by Sarah Miss today. Okay, maybe they wanted to impress you, but yeah. Okay, Miss. So I have another question, which is from Zareen Anjum. So this question is for MNK Miss. She said that I have a speech disability of stuttering since childhood, which has been reduced a lot since. So will this affect the speaking test?
It
Is
will
it for
not
me? Because Zareen Anjum was my
affect the
student.
speaking test.
Zareen Anjum was my
Okay.
student, if
Yeah.
I remember
Okay,
correctly.
Salamis. Okay, you can reply. Yeah, please.
Oh, sorry,
Okay, no
was it for
problem.
Munira? Was it for Munira? Please, Munira, go
She
ahead.
didn't mention. She didn't mention. Okay, any of you can answer. It's up to you.
Okay.
All right, I
So,
think I already said this once because
that will not impede anything. The problem that will occur is you will not be given extra time. Even if you stutter, you will have to finish within the allotted time, because the exam, or another thing you have to remember, the exam is being recorded. So everything is recorded. Every minute, every second is recorded. You cannot, an examiner will not allow you to extend your answer after the time has finished. So whatever you say, you'll have to use it there. You will not be penalized for your speaking impediment. But if you cannot understand a certain word, which or the examiner will have no idea of what you are talking about, that's the thing. If it's if the examiner cannot understand it, that's one thing. But if a person stutters, the examiner will actually be able to understand at a certain point. But what's happening
examiners
is the
are very
time
sympathetic,
will
actually.
be interrupted. Yes.
Examiners are sympathetic, and if
And
they see that you have difficulty producing something or articulating a word, they will not they will not demean you. They will not say anything. It's all right as long as you just kind of produce it some way.
Okay.
remember,
Thank
the
you.
examiners are not your enemies.
They are
They
they are
will
facilitators.
never penalize you for something that you are which has nothing to do with language itself. It's a speech impediment, and if you have this kind of impediment, make sure you, as Sarah Miss said, to inform the office beforehand.
The center.
Yes. Could I add something else here? And that
Please,
is,
please.
someone asked if, where is it? Can I speak informally in an IELTS speaking test? Now, I have a question. You're asking me, but now I'm asking you a question. Is IELTS speaking test a formal exam or an informal exam? It is obviously a formal exam. And so all the answers, every word you use has to be given in formal language. Wanna, gonna, please do not use these
Hana.
things.
Sorry. No.
Make sure you use, yes, make sure you use the full word.
These should not be used.
Never use
Yeah.
These are
informal
very
language
common
in
words
any
for
formal situation.
youngsters.
Remember that.
Nowadays,
Oh.
youngsters use a lot of
Yeah,
no.
arekta jinish kore. Another thing is, many people say, yeah, yo.
Yo.
What is this? I mean, are you talking to a friend or are you talking to an examiner? Right. It's not, I mean, you're trying
You just
to
need
give
to
us
understand
the
the
idea
gravity
that
of
you
the
are
thing.
cool. Fine, show us
Cool.
that you
Yeah,
are
cool.
cool through
No, it's
your
not cool.
answers, through your proper
Yeah.
answers. No, it's not cool
There
using
is a
informal
question from
language.
Deena
So
Akhtar.
make sure, as Deena Miss said, it's your attitude that we are also looking for. It has to be a pleasing attitude. And at the same time, you use formal language, and you cannot be rude. You should not be rude,
Be
because the
courteous. Be
examiner will
courteous.
never be rude to you either.
Yeah.
Be
Sorry?
courteous. Be courteous.
Be courteous.
Show
Be
courtesy.
courteous. Be courteous. Yes. And
And
that
this
comes
question
out
should
through
be
your
answered by
words,
Deena
through your
Madam.
choice of words,
Sanjida's question.
and the way you
Yeah.
also say it.
Okay, thank you, Miss. So one question came up from Sanjita Akhtar. So this question is for Deena Miss. Deena Miss, she wants to know which one is more important for the speaking test: content or idea, or the use of English language, like the choice of vocab or stylistics. Oh, yeah, you know her, Miss, right? Sanjita, our very own Sanjita. She graduated from NSU.
to the question that has been asked. So
Yeah.
content is important. And then you're talking about vocabulary. You need to use the appropriate vocabulary, okay? Appropriate vocabulary to express yourself. And the stylistics, of course, that is part of the speaking skills that you will be using. Okay, so I will say that all of them are important. Focus on each and every one of these items and try to express yourself properly. Okay, so do not be too stuck up or something like that. So you can relax, you don't have to be all the time very formal and stuck up when you are using vocabulary or like that. You can use idiomatic expressions and all, which is normal and natural. If you're talking about a natural subject, for example, if you're talking about a restaurant that you like, why do you like it, you might come up with personal opinions here. So you don't have to worry about that. But as I said, content, you're talking about content, the it must match the question. Okay, if your content deviates from what the question wants, then it's not going to help you out.
It
Okay.
will be incoherent. Coherence will be lost.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miss. Sarah, Miss, this question is for you from Fariha Tasneem. She wants to know that if someone wants to do masters abroad, does his or her CGPA of undergrad really matter for IELTS? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. IELTS
No,
is a
not for
separate
us.
test. Not for IELTS. It doesn't matter because
The
it's
CGPA
just a
might be
unique
important
test.
for getting an admission, to getting
Right.
scholarship, getting other things, but for IELTS, no. IELTS is
No, not at all.
considered totally as a different
It's a
element
unique
that's
test.
taken
It's
place.
different. Yeah. It
IELTS
has
is to
got
check
nothing to
whether
do with the
you are
CGPA.
proficient in using the language.
Language. CGPA is your total result. And
Yeah.
it's just English.
Okay, so I got another question from Aisha Rahman. I've got a lot of questions. So still, audience, if you have any more questions to know from the IELTS experts, so we have 3 faculty members from the Department of English and Modern Languages of North South University, and they're the IELTS experts, and they have been into IELTS like for more than 2 decades. So can you please drop your questions in the comment box, and I'm going to pick up your questions and show on the screen. And yeah, go ahead. Okay, so Aisha, I got a question from Aisha, and Aisha asked Deena Miss perhaps for the no, sorry, I guess Munira Miss. This question is for you. For the speaking part, will it be negatively marked if I say anything wrong out of nervousness to show my fluency in speaking and not mumble? What do you think?
Wrong answers will not be penalized, but the grammar, the if you're using wrong words, wrong answers is not a problem. But if you're using the wrong words, or if you are not using the right words at the right time to give the specific meaning, that will affect your grade, the band that you get. But there is no wrong answer for IELTS. Here we are looking for your what shall I say? Your
Language.
how adept you are in the English language. So it's how you are using language, what you are using to express yourselves. Are you coherent? Are you using the sequences in the right order? All of these things. So, I just want you to understand one thing. Those of you who did 102, 103, 105, and after the exam thought, oh, I'm done with it. Thank God. I don't have to think about it anymore. This is a problem. You should take it into consideration because 102, 103, and 105 are teaching you how to write, what words to use, what discourse markers to use, what transitions to use. So if you forget all of these, then you are actually shooting yourself in the foot.
Miss, just I'm
Because these
interrupting.
will help you.
We have
Yes.
we have people from outside NSU as well. Perhaps they don't understand English 102, 103, 105.
All right. Okay, these
Well,
are
the basic course,
courses,
the
English
intermediate course,
courses,
and the advanced
compulsory
course.
courses that our
Yeah.
students have to do. 102 is about learning how to
Basic
write a proper paragraph and everything associated with it. In 103, we teach how to write a proper essay a 5-paragraph essay, not just one type, but 7 types of essays. With that, we have various grammar items, we have comprehension and summary writing. All of these are essential to be able to write in the academic arena also. Because if your English is not, if you do not write your answers correctly for a thesis paper, for a research paper, or even exams, if you cannot get the meaning right, if you cannot get the answer correct, you're not going to get a good grade. So these are things that you have to understand. Being able to write a sentence properly, how to write it, paragraphs, essays. And when you remember all those things, then it will be very easy for you to understand various things about the IELTS also. Because no knowledge is actually, you cannot throw it out the window at all. Whatever you learned, you can use it anytime in your life.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Miss. So I have a question for Sarah, Miss. The question came from Mohammed Shamimul. So he asked you, if I'm asked about my religious duties or something in terms of like mandatory in the test. So in answering, if I say obviously, is it right to say in IELTS?
Why don't you say, why not say definitely, most certainly, instead of obviously?
Okay.
Right. Other than that, I don't think there are questions related to religion or politics in IELTS.
Okay. Yeah.
And even if you must ask me what can replace obviously, then you can say most definitely. You can say most certainly.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Miss. Deena, Miss. I guess Nadar Khan has. He modified his question. Do we need to extend our answer in the first part of speaking? So in speaking module.
Okay.
So yeah.
Munira has already explained to you the time slots. For the first part, it's 4 to 5 minutes, and then the second section is 3 to 4 minutes, and the third section is 4 to 5 minutes again. So it's time bound. Okay. Yeah. So you can extend, but there is a limit to what how much you can extend. You have to keep in mind about the time. Okay, so don't make your answers overly long, overly lengthy. Okay, give the information that is required and all, and don't make the answers repetitive so that it becomes lengthy. And it takes more time than the time that is allotted for the first part, second part, third part. These are all time bound, so you have to be careful about the time that you use to give an answer.
In part 1, I think, Miss, do you think that giving a 4 or a 5 sentence answers are okay? That's what I suggest.
Yeah.
I mean, giving 4 to 5 sentences for each answer in part 1.
Yes, exactly.
That covers the time, and they don't go overboard with time.
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5 sentences should suffice.
Miss, there is something like if the candidate is asked, what's your name? I've also heard that sometimes some candidates say that my name is this, my father's name is this, my mother's name is this, my grandfather's and grandmother's, and I don't know what else they want to say.
No, whatever question is asked, just stick to that. Just stick to that.
We are not looking for the family tree.
We are not looking for the family tree.
Asked what is your name, just say what your name is. Okay? You don't have to extend
in the name of extending their answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And there are some typical answers that candidates learn from coaching centers, and they say, "My name is Muhammad. My friends call me Muhammad. You can also call me Muhammad."
Yes.
Okay. So, typical answers that teach you from the coaching centers should be avoided. Should be a little original.
Should be avoided.
Be a little
At least when you say your name, be original. At least when you tell the examiners your names, be original.
Be original in the sense that don't repeat the same thing. I mean,
oh my God,
5, 6, 7 candidate comes and say, my name is this, my friends call me this, my parents call me this, and you can also call me this.
As if somebody is holding a gun at their back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some coaching centers who actually come up with some guidelines and they write it down for their candidates.
Typical structure.
And also, Miss, it happens in IELTS, in
Yes.
IELTS writing, especially in section 1. So they come up with very typical and the same answer for everyone. So, I mean, how do you penalize those writings, Miss?
One such word is
I couldn't get
plethora.
that question.
In a coaching sentence, they use the word plethora. Everybody's
Plethora.
using it. It is
Plethora. Plethora. Everybody
Plethora.
uses it.
Coaching centers,
Plethora.
you will, if
don't
you go
need to use
online,
bombastic
those
words,
practice
absolute
practice
bombastic
advisors and online,
Yeah.
there are certain things that must use vocabulary. So plethora is one of them. You must
of
use
them.
plethora. So
And
Yeah.
there's
comfortable.
nothing called must use. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Miss.
everybody uses that.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of plethora in this
Plethora.
thing.
Plethora.
Okay, I got a question
There's a
from
question
some.
for Deena, madam.
Yeah, to Deena, madam, which is like, how many words do we? Do we have to know to be fluent for speaking part? As vocab is a great hindrance to be a fluent speaker. So to obtain band score like 8 or 9. So how many words does he need to learn this?
Giving the number of words is rather difficult, but it is the standard of the vocabulary. Okay, your
Okay.
standard of the vocabulary must be a little sophisticated and high level, not just. But if you are not familiar with some high level vocabulary or anything, you can use simple words. You can use simple words. Just try to avoid repetitive vocabulary and use vocabulary that is considered to be quality vocabulary that gives people who's listening to you the sense that you are aware of the language, you know the language, and you can communicate using the language. Okay, so this is more important than high level words or anything like that. Okay,
Yes.
so eight or 9, of course, to get an 8 or a 9, you do have to use sophisticated vocabulary and all. I'm not saying that you have to have all correct. You can have grammatical errors here and there, a little bit, 1 or 2, but still, the quality of your vocabulary and the speed, the fluency of what you are saying, and appropriateness of what you're saying should be considered more than just how many words you need to know. Okay, there's no limitation that you need to know or memorize so many words or something like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss. So one question from Prangon Mojumdar. So I want to ask this question to Sarah Miss. How can we improve our vocab for speaking and writing? For speaking and writing.
Read. Read lots of books, not just browse the internet or Facebook. Don't waste your time in all those things. Read good books, and whenever you come across a new word, try to learn the word and retain and use it somewhere so that you can use it later. Because even when you learn a word and you don't use it, the word doesn't become yours. You have to, in order to make it yours, you have to use it somewhere. And if you read a lot, read magazines, read books, read journals, read anything that you can lay your hands on, other than the mobile thing that comes up that you come up with all the time, the internet and Facebook thing. So I think if you read a lot, you will learn a lot of vocab. And whether it is a journal, magazine, books, even storybooks can help you to come up with a lot of good vocab so that you can use in your speech very nicely,
Yes.
very fluently.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I got a question from Mahiyat Lubaba. So she wanted to ask, as for the pandemic situation, is there any online-based exam for IELTS? So this question is to all three of you. Please enlighten us.
Yes,
Yes.
computer-based exam has been started already for quite some time. So
We
you
call
can
it
register
VCS.
online, you can take the computer-based exams, and so on. Okay.
Yeah, it
I
is
think
called
except the
VCS.
speaking part,
Video call
right?
speaking. We have video
Video
call
call
speaking nowadays,
Video call
VCS.
speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So VCS, if you register for that, then you can get your exam done through online.
Okay, Dinamis, I have another question from Sabsana
Sure.
Ahmed Anushka. So she wanted to know what are the some common mistakes made in the listening test, and how can they avoid those mistakes?
Okay, in the listening test, sometimes what candidates actually um, do not pay attention to what is being said, and then while you are listening, you can always take some little notes if you want to. With your pencil in your hand, you can take some notes. Okay, take notes and answer that. And so, you also have to keep in mind that when you are taking notes, for question number 2 you are taking notes so much that question number 3 and 4, information about question 3 and 4 has already passed. Because you see, when the listening people are talking, they talk at a normal speed. They don't talk slowly or anything like that. So you have to keep in mind, when you are taking note, you shorten. Just write 1 or 2 words or sentences, and then go on to keep up with the speed of the listening. Whatever is being discussed, keep up with that and write down. If you miss 1 or 2, don't get overly panicked. Okay, just keep on with the flow, and then maybe when you come back, you can make an intelligent guess. You can even write something, remember it later on, that this
Yeah,
is what I heard. Okay, so don't actually, during the listening test, most people tend to panic.
yeah,
So
And
don't panic.
if I may add,
please.
Yeah.
sometimes if you listen to something, don't write the full word or the
Yes, don't
numbers.
write
When
the
there
full
are some
word.
numbers, just write something that you can understand, like 10,000. You don't have to write THOUSAND. You just write 10K. You know that you wrote 10,000. You shorten your whatever note you're
Yes, to
taking,
save
shorten
time.
it. It's yeah, to save time, and so that you can listen to the next information. When you're writing thousand millions and you are counting আমি কয়টা শূন্য লিখলাম million হলো কিনা, so just write 1M, so you know that you wrote 1 million.
Okay,
Don't
what
write
if
numbers.
if a student writes like 10K instead of like 10 comma 3 zeros? So will that be accepted as the correct answer for the
Well,
listening test?
That's for
sometimes,
rough.
sometimes if they
That's for
make
rough.
logical sense and all, alternate answers are acceptable. But sometimes, if it doesn't make sense, then they are not accepted.
No, they don't
For
write it
each
on the
and every
answer
test,
script.
alternate
Yeah,
answers are given.
Mehdi,
That is
what
for
I'm
rough.
yeah.
saying, do not write it on the answer script.
Not
I'm
Okay,
for the
yeah,
saying
actual
when
answer.
you are just listening to the recording and taking notes for
yes,
yourself, for saving
yeah,
time, for that purpose, write K, so that you know we use K for 1,000. So if
yeah,
you write 1,000, you will waste a lot of time. Or if you have to write three zeros, maybe you will miss the next information. So if you write 1K, 1,000, later
yeah.
on when you copy it in the answer sheet,
It's for
you
your
write
benefit.
1,000. You write 1,000.
Okay, so
You
one
write
zero
the
zero
whole
zero, for
word.
example, that will be more appreciated, right? When
Yes.
a particular
Yes.
student will transfer
Yeah.
the answer
Yeah.
from the draft to
Because
the
there's no
original.
doubt about it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, very good, very good.
1K
Thank you.
can be questionable, but not 1,000 like that.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Munira Miss, I have a question from Adiba Kamal. So she asked you if the examiner, I guess she's referring to the speaking module, if the examiner asks me something or says a word that I'm not familiar with, so how should I reply to that in speaking?
If you're not familiar with it, then you won't be able to answer it. It depends on which area this is. Is it the first part, the second part, or the third part? In the first and second part, the examiner will not be able to support you with, uh, in explaining anything to you. But in the third part, to elicit answers from you, the examiner will be able to rephrase it. But in other parts, the examiner will not be able to rephrase it. And if it's
Um,
a certain word that you don't understand, it might usually be in
Yeah,
the third part. Yes, Sarapa?
but in
Sarapa,
part
you were
two,
saying?
if in part two there is a word that the candidate is not able to understand, he or she can ask the examiner. The
yeah,
examiner will give a synonym for
Just for
that.
a
A
short
synonym for that.
explanation.
Not
So,
an
a
explanation, but
single
a
word
synonym for
or
that. A single word.
Yes,
A
yes,
synonym.
single
we will
word.
not be
In
able to
part 2,
explain.
no, not to
Yes.
not be able to
No
explain, but just
elaborate
give a
explanation.
synonym. Just give a synonym for that. Suppose
No,
you
yes.
somebody doesn't understand
Yes.
wedding, so the examiner will say marriage,
Okay.
something like that.
So a candidate can request
But not
the
Yeah,
extend
examiner
it,
to
yeah,
not
say a synonym,
elaborate.
yes.
Yes.
No,
not
not
elaborate.
elaborate, but they can express that. They
Not
can say that
elaborate.
I don't understand this. Then the
Yeah.
examiner will give a synonym.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Miss. I
But
have
in the
one particular
third part,
question.
it
Yeah.
can be rephrased.
Okay.
In the third
Rephrase.
part, a question can be rephrased if necessary.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So the question is for Deena Miss. So the question came from Nihal. So he wanted to know, how am I able to improve my overall writing quality, and how do I evaluate my writing since I'm like self-studying in this quarantine?
Okay, improving your writing quality means you do have to read sample essays, good books, and I would suggest that read sample essays which are given. And if you go online, there are example sample essays given, both part one, part two, task one, task two, and they also discuss the scores. Let's say somebody got a 5 in task 1. Okay, so the scoring was 5, and then either in some of the websites they give an explanation why did this writing get a 5 and not a 6, what was wrong with it, or why did it get not get a 4 or something like that. So explanation about the scoring, okay, is sometimes given. That might give you a better idea of the quality of your writing. And of course, as I said, good writing, you should pick up good essays, good writing, good books and all, and try to read, look at the stylistics, look at the sentence structure, look at the expression that they use, and try to keep that in mind and try to use that yourself when you are writing. Okay, and one more thing that I want to point out here, since we are in the writing question, uh, task one, I have often seen that candidates, while writing task one for academy purpose, they are supposed to explain or analyze or data which is given in the form of a map or a table or a chart or something like that. Okay, I have seen many candidates talking about, okay, this is more than this, and that is more than less than that. This is not enough. When you are talking about data, you are giving explanation about data. The map has data, the chart
Yeah.
has data. You have to mention the data. If you do not mention the data, then you are not expressing yourself completely. Okay, so saying that this is more than that and this is better than that is not enough. How much better? Why is it better? What is the data that gives us this an edge over something else? Okay, so mentioning data is absolutely a very good point that you should keep in mind.
Okay. Thank you, Miss. Thank you. I want to take a question from Zawad. So he's appreciating our today's webinar. Thank you, Zawad. And so he had a question. Basically, I have a doubt regarding listening exam. How long it will be provided to review answer after each part? I mean, maybe he's referring to, I mean, how long he'll be given to transfer his answer sheet, maybe from the draft to the answer sheet. So yeah, whether it's a half a minute or 1 minute. Sarah Miss.
For this
No,
listening,
actually, this
for the
is about
listening, I'm
listening.
talking
Deena
about the
madam is
listening
better.
For the listening, yeah, Miss.
for
For the
the
listening.
listening module, you can they will give you 10 minutes. After
Okay.
at the end of the listening thing, they'll give you 10 minutes to transfer the answers. But
Yeah.
After each
candidates often make mistake in thinking that, okay, for the reading module also I get time to transfer. You don't get
Yeah.
extra time to transfer. Only for the listening module you get 10 minutes at the end to transfer the answers. For the
maybe he
reading
asked
module,
about
you should
different.
directly write down the answers on the answer sheet.
He asked
Okay.
about how long it will be provided for each section of the miss. He asked about each section. There are different 4 segments in the listening
For each
test.
part, for each
I
section.
think for
Yeah.
each section. I think
Yeah.
it's half a minute Now you have 30 seconds to review your answers. Even the listening tape says that you have 30 seconds to review your answers. I think it's
Yeah.
30 seconds. Half a
Yes.
Yeah.
minute.
Half a minute.
Half
Okay.
a minute, yeah.
So one question came from Sumaya Dina. So the question can be asked to Munira Miss. Would a slight spelling mistake would be considered in listening test? Munira Miss, what do you think?
That's a listening test. It's a listening test, not a spelling test. So were you able to, if it changes the meaning of the word, then obviously it will. But if it's something that does not change the meaning, I don't think it will be a problem. Deena Miss, what do you think?
Yes, that's correct. If the spelling changes the meaning of the answer, the word becomes means something different, then you will be penalized. But let's say you spelled it with an double E or an EA or something like that, but it's quite it doesn't change the meaning, then you will not be penalized. The meaning actually is more important than the spelling. Okay. Yes. Any other questions?
I think Mehdi has been disconnected or something. He'll be back. So I hope this is helping all of you, all the discussions that we are, the tips that we are giving you. I hope that they will help you and you understand, you have a better understanding of the IELTS tests now. Mehdi, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I think I had an internet issue. Yeah,
Yes,
I think
internet.
we've reached towards the end of our today's webinar. Thank you very much, our lovely audience. You guys were really, really so cooperative, and you had a lot of questions. I'm sorry. I apologize to those whose questions I couldn't read because of the time constraints. I wish I could read all the questions and put on the screen. And thank you very much, our respected faculty members of the English Department of NSCU. Thank you, Deena Miss. Thank you, Sarah Miss. And thank you, Munira Miss,
Most
for
welcome.
joining our
Thank you.
session.
Happy to
Any
It was a pleasure.
any last few words, Deena Miss, for the audience before we take a leave?
Last means, I mean, do not get panicked about this thing. This is a simple test. Be natural, be original, and try to be natural. I mean, keep your own personality, own ideas, the originality of your ideas, and all that will add quality to your exam rather than following something, copying something from some other people. You have seen wonderful 2 sentences in an essay, and then you memorize that and use that. So that kind of will not get, that kind of copying or memorized material will not get you good marks. Rather, if you use original material that shows your personality, your own perception, that is much better. So that's what I'm going to say, that do not try to copy or memorize.
Yeah.
These two
Thank
doesn't
you.
help much.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Sarah Miss.
all the
Any
best
last-
to, yeah. Okay, all the best to all the candidates. Hope you do great, and this session was helpful. So please utilize whatever you learned from here, and well, all my best wishes are with you.
Thank you. Munira Miss, any last few words for the audience?
Yes, it's practice, practice, and practice. That's all you have to do. And you will do well, inshallah. You will do well. Good luck, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much, our lovely audience.
you.
So hopefully we will see each other someday, and please stay safe and take care of yourself and of your family during the pandemic, and get ready for your IELTS. And if you still have any more questions, you can still drop in the comment section of this webinar. Our IELTS experts will try their best to answer as many as they can at their earliest convenience. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. So we're
Thank you very
saying
much.
goodbye. Yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Miss. And
Okay,
thanks
thank you,
to all of
Mehedi.
you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning
Madam,
in.
Allah Hafiz.
And thank you, Mehdi, for having
Allah
us.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.